I'd like to learn about this agency's relationship to the functioning of schooling. How does the agency see itself within respect to schooling, the schooling of children in the community?
Brookwood is considered a homeless shelter for young women, so we are responsible for getting them enrolled into the Pinellas County school system and ensuring that they're attending school on a regular basis.
Thank you. Tell me about the agency's history with schooling. How has its roles changed, if at all?
I don't believe their roles have changed at all. Just we're responsible for the girls as their legal guardians, so if they intend to drop out at any point, we have to be responsible for that and sign off on that. I would think over the last 80 years that Brookwood's been in service, the dropping out wasn't an option at that point, so I think that would be the only thing that would change.
How do the How does the agency interact with local children and families?
Again, we're a shelter or a residence, a group home for young women. Girls are either placed here through foster care or privately placed by their families if they're having difficulties at home.
In a perfect world, what would be the best way for your agency and local schools to interact?
In a perfect world? Well, in a perfect world, we would have, right now we're just having difficulty with the busing situation with some of our girls attending public schools. They don't want to have a bus come get them even though they're required to because it's a shelter. Also, having them enroll at a school if they're coming from another Pinellas County school, allowing them to stay in their school that they're coming from instead of transferring to their zone school here. And I also think with PACE Center for Girls, working with them, having a certain amount of slots for girls attending there would be helpful.
What would you change? Well, you pretty much said what you would change, so. Now I'd like to hear about your experience with the agency generally. How did you come to be involved here, and how did you prepare for this role?
I have my master's degree in mental health counseling. I have about 10 years of experience working with at-risk teenage girls at PACE Center for Girls and another group home prior to PACE. So I came here from PACE and worked with Brookwood when I was over at PACE Center for Girls.
Which of the agency's accomplishments here make you feel the most proud?
I guess when a student actually graduates from high school and makes it through, or obtains their GED, so that you know that they at least have that when they leave here, that's a good thing.
Thank you. What are your most significant challenges you face in this community, and how are you addressing those challenges?
I think the most significant challenge that we address is lack of parenting that brings the girls here, whether it's foster care or the privately placed girls. And in foster care, there's really not much that we can do with that if they're removed from the home, but with private placement, we do family counseling and things like that to help ensure that the family unit grows upon the girl returning home.
Please tell me about the schools you attended. Were any of them like the schools in this community? How are they the same, different? What did you enjoy most about school when you were a kid?
I actually went to school in Pinellas County, so I grew up here. I would say that the violence in the school has increased since I attended school. What's the second half of the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. What did you enjoy most about school when you were a kid?
Enjoy most about school? I guess the friendships that I made, actually, and the teachers. They were very supportive.
If you could go back to when you were first thinking about working with this organization, knowing what you know now, what advice would you give yourself?
I would probably give myself some time off to recover from working with this population, as it can be difficult at times.
Thank you for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.